Hip-Hop Minute.
Earthlings, what's up?
It's your man SKYZOO.
Thurs 92 crew. This is Hassan Mackey.
Yo, this is K Mayfield, Mania Music Group. What's good, people? This is your man 49 Live and Direct.
Nairobi from the Trifold Class.
I am Eternia from my mother's womb.
This is Dead End Hip Hop.
Tuned in Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop. Rockin' with Dead End Hip Hop.
Shout out to Dead End Hip Hop. Dead End Hip Hop.
Dead End Hip Hop. Dead in Hip Hop.
What's up, everybody? I'm Marjorie, and this is the Ask DEHH section of the show. So, did you guys miss me?
Yeah, you know they miss you.
Yeah?
You know they miss you.
Alright, good. So, we're gonna get right to it. If any of you guys could spend one day with a rapper, dead or alive, who would it be? And the question came from Josh Fry. Yes, it's Fry, Josh Fry. Thank you for submitting your question.
Tupac. I just would want to pick his brain, man. Dude was just, you know what I'm saying, revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? His story idea is probably one of the most interesting out of any hip hop artist ever. So just to pick his brain, you know, because the dude was smart. You know what I'm saying? Mom's a Black Panther, very socially conscious. You know what I'm saying? And it just shows the sides of every human. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want to chill and drink and do shit with your homies, but then you still have respect for your moms, and you still want to read, and you still want to better yourself and your fellow people. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're still you. So I think Tupac would be the person I would want to chill a day with.
Chuck D. I want to spend it because you know what? I think, you know, I used to always have that revolutionary side to me a while back, and man, I just love, like, I would just love spending the day with him, man. Just fighting the power with him, man. Just go do some sit-ins or some shit, some crazy shit.
I think someone like, I guess as humble as me, I wouldn't mind hanging out with T.I. for a day.
Wow. That's surprising.
How's that surprising?
Oh no, this is. This kind of is.
Yeah, I mean, just T.I. just like a cool mellow dude. I mean, that's how I am. I'm a cool, you know, laid back guy that like to have fun. So, you know, T.I. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it. It just surprised.
That's surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Told you, we nobody from Detroit. Huh? My people's skills way better than yours, nigga.
Lil B, Drake, who you got?
Okay, moving on. But who I would really like to kick it with is POS, and that's only because we both come from almost the same exact background. Like, this dude was a punk rock kid in bands, and then just, you know, kind of, he found Company Flow. Company Flow completely changed his perception of hip hop, and he became a rapper, and now he's one of my all-time, you know, favorite rappers. So I would love to actually hang out with this dude, talk about old school hardcore, talk about old school punk rock, talk about music, you know. So yeah, it would be really cool to kick it with POS.
To me, hip-hop is shit that you could feel in your blood, you know, shit that gives you goosebumps when you listen to it, shit that makes you want to go back and back and back and rewind this shit, and you just want to, you know, suck your whole mind into this shit, you know what I'm saying? And today, none of that shit is around. That's why it's not respected. I mean, that's it. I mean, blackface is running shit.
We got hip-hop as an art form that's not respected yet. We have the corporate engines that want to take the blackface MCs and exploit them.
I don't like that we always try to say that it's corporate doing it. Like I said,
Nobody's saying it's solely corporate.
No, I'm not saying that everyone's saying it's solely, but I don't even think that that's the core problem.
What is the core problem?
I think the core problem is we're the ones that are saying that this shit is good. I don't think that, because I used to think in the way that, oh, well, if MTV tells you it's good, then you just believe it. I used to think that way. I don't think that I think that way anymore.
When I say corporate, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking like the bank. You know what I'm saying? The people that put the money behind the product.
You know what I'm saying? Because
They always put the money behind the product.
It's
right?
up to the artist.
Exactly. They put it behind what we want to support.
Yeah.
If we want to hear fucking KRS-One on stage, if we want to hear Chuck D on stage, then yeah, the corporate's gonna throw the money behind it because that's what's hot. But once ignorance became hot, they threw money at that.
It's like we don't want to necessarily blame corporate. You know, we have to assume responsibility.
Right.
But at the same time, the corporate engines have always been behind hip hop. So it also, the responsibility of how we got to where we are right now lies within us because we allow the messages of corporate and the artists and the music that they're promoting to influence us because, and it goes back to what something else Michael Larry Dyson said, we are lazy. So we're not going to really go out and look for a lot of hip hop or a lot of intellectual hip hop. We're just going to take what's given to us. We, meaning the mainstream, the people that don't feel like, you know what, I want to hear something smart. Where do I go find it? It takes work nowadays.
I think that the reason corporate got behind people like PE, you know, was because that's what we wanted to hear. At that point in time, hip hop was really a rebellion thing. Like, we were looking for people to get us riled up. We were looking for people to get us, you know, like excited. Now we want people to relax us. We want people to make us sit back and chill. When that's why PE's records ain't selling no more. You know, we don't want to be riled up anymore. We want to fall back and chill and smoke weed and just be happy.
I just want to say I agree with King because I think it's a half and half thing. I think it's half corporate and then, well, more like 60-40. It's more of the people's fault. I believe that most people are fucking stupid. Like King was saying, just the truth. I mean, what the fuck, you know? Like King was saying about Michael Eric Dyson. People are fucking lazy. You know, I go around and I try to, you know, tell people about certain artists that aren't getting that much shine or promotion. And a lot of people say, well, they're not on the radio, so I ain't gonna listen to it. You know, people are lazy. If they gotta go fucking look for shit, they're not gonna waste their time, you know? And I just wanna tell people, go look at, there's another documentary I watched called Beyond Beats and Rhymes. I think the guy who created it, I think his name is Byron Hurt. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it came on PBS years ago, and there was a freestyle cypher with a bunch of MCs or whatever, and Byron went up to one of the MCs and said, you know, why don't you spit any intelligent raps or anything socially aware? Dude goes, well, you know, all that shit is cool, but no one wants to hear that. You know, no one wants to hear that anymore.
You know, going back to the point about the guy, like here you are, you're taking the work away from him, right? You're saying, here's a guy, that's good, that's dope, check him out. He said, I don't want to listen to it because it's not on the radio. Have we been brainwashed to the point where what's on the radio is deemed good and popular or cool? Are we trying to fit in by listening to stuff on the radio?
For the most part, the masses think like that. That's how people think. People think that if you're not on the radio, you're shit. That's how people think. And unless you're gonna bother to actually dig deep and look for good shit, you know, you're just gonna be stuck in the underground.
If people want to think of, okay, you know, what I hear on the radio, that's the shit that I like, and that's the shit I enjoy, that's fine. But the issue is, it's not so much their thinking, it's more so who the people are that are on the radio. If it's only all these ignorant motherfuckers that are on there, then it's their fault. You know, if you don't want to portray yourselves and your community in a certain way, then just don't fucking do it. They all say, oh, we want to make money, That's fine, but let's shift the focus away from ignorance and put it on something else, and then that shit will get the money.
How do we change the perception of hip-hop as an art form? Because I think we can all agree that it is an art form. Even if they're not playing instruments, how many people do you know can really go in and craft some of the beats that we've heard, you know, by some of the producers that are out there? The way they're able to put some of this stuff together. How do we change that perception?
Though, like really, if you think about it, the actual artists themselves, the rappers, and I keep saying this, it's like,
fine, they don't play instruments. That's fine and dandy. But how come they are not considered poets? People will look again at someone like Bob Dylan, who can't sing to save his fucking life, but they look at him as a poet. And he talked about down and out shit. Look at Hank Williams. The motherfucker was a drug addict his entire career. He's looked at as a poet. You know, all these people, but they never look at MCs as poets. Even someone like Common, who's clearly a fucking poet. There's a million rhymer, that we can throw out there that are ballad poets, but they will never be considered that because they look at them and they say, oh, they're rappers. I don't want to hear it.
That's performing.
That's even when you look at all the old beat poets like Kerouac and those dudes, like when that shit first came out, people were just like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy. This isn't poetry. But eventually they caught on and they're like, okay, these guys were talking about the streets in their terms. Rappers are doing the same fucking thing, but they're not given the same respect as Kerouac's, or Bukowski's or any of those other dudes. So I don't get it. I don't want to go the race route because I want to think it's deeper than that.
Is it deeper than that?
I want to think it is.
I don't know if it has anything to do with race though.
Is it deeper than that then? What do you
But
think
how
it has
deeper
to do
can
with?
you go though?
Okay, so if it's not that, what is it? Is the question.
Dollars. It comes down to dollars and cents.
Let's put Motley Crue against NWA, right?
Okay.
Motley Crue was doing the same shit. They're running around fucking mad women, right? Doing all kinds of drugs, talking shit, living the fucking life. And no one said shit. They were just like, Motley Crue, they're one of the biggest rock bands in the world. We respect them great. But you look at NWA, these dudes were doing the same shit. Running around, talking shit, acting crazy. But they're, people look at them and they say, oh, they're just a bunch of ignorant idiots.
Maybe hip-hop never came out from under the microscope. Out of all of these years.
What microscope?
That has always been under. Remember, hip-hop has always had a challenge being accepted, period. People thought it was just going to be a fad.
Why was it a challenge?
Why? Again, when it comes back down to it, it's like, why?
Because, okay, you guys want to go race? Maybe it was because when it first started out, it was a black cultural thing that started in New York where they just really just... Damn, I don't want to know.
I'll tell you why.
Race, man. It's tough, but
I think it's deeper than that too. Because if you think about it, white people did the same thing to punk rock when it first came out, right? When punk rock first showed up on the scene,
I've heard that a lot.
A lot of the older, white folks looked at that. They said, "This is not music. This is noise. This is garbage. I don't want to hear this." When Sex Pistols are running around again, acting wild and crazy and doing all kinds of wild shit, or when the New York Dolls are running around dressed up like fucking women, playing this crazy shit, no one was considering that ballad music. They were just like, this is noise. The only ones embracing that were people that were young. Same thing happened with hip-hop. When hip-hop first came around, I don't know if it was so much the race. I think maybe it was more so the sound. The sound was not easily listenable. It was not accessible.
From the Soul Train documentary, the reason why Don Cornelius just had to step away because the music was changing. Right. And he was like, I can't, because think about what Soul Train was. Soul Train was dancing, it was grooving, it was all this stuff. And then hip hop comes around and the black people embraced it and it's no longer that anymore.
They embraced it because when hip hop, when they started Sugar Hill Gang, they were rapping over those disco beats. And that was a sound that was already out. People were accustomed to hearing it, right? So there was a change in hip hop to where they got away from that, and maybe it was when disco died, when everybody took all their albums and threw it in a bonfire and burnt that shit up.
It was around the early '80s, like when you had The Message when that dropped. I don't know exactly what year that was. So I don't want to throw out an incorrect year. But when you had like The Message that dropped, that sound again, even though he was talking about real shit and important shit, the sound was still not that easily listenable for people that were of an older age, that were used to listening to Al Green, that were used to listening to Curtis Mayfield, like you said, or Barry White, or Peebo Bryson, that kind of shit. When hip hop jumped out, it was just like, damn, this is noise. Yeah. So I don't think it, and it wasn't just white people saying that, it was black folks.
All right,
too.
so let's go with that. Let's say in the beginning, people wasn't used to the sound, so they were getting accustomed to it.
The same way.
So they were getting accustomed to it. Hip hop has been in the game for forever now, so why isn't it still not respected? I can understand it, it's abrupt and well, what the hell is this in the beginning? But why now? Like, why is it still not respected?
That's a perfect question. That's what I'd like to know too, because like we said a minute ago, I was comparing the path of punk rock to hip hop.
Exactly.
And punk rock eventually got big the same way hip hop did, but it got accepted. You know, Green Day is huge.
Yeah.
Sum 41, even though I don't consider Sum 41 a fucking punk rock band, but some people do. They got huge. That sound got accepted. It was no longer a rebellion thing. Whereas hip hop kind of went the same path, but it's still not respected in the way that punk rock is.
It's because hip hop has always has continued to stay abrupt throughout the years. There's always.
Let me flip this for a second though. Like, is it really not respected? Like, everybody seems to agree that it's not respected.
Compared
to other genres, I don't think it is.
I don't even think you have to do a comparison to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's right in your face.
So you think? All right. So you're basically saying hip hop is blatantly disrespected as an
art form? Most definitely.
I don't think so, because like artists sell out shows.
Hip hop artists
sell out shows.
Money doesn't matter. That's what we're talking about.
Not even money, but just support. Not even supporting about money, but just coming to someone's show and going to another country and selling out around the world.
As an art form, we're not talking about.
But that shows me that you respect it if you take the time out.
That says you enjoy it. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that the masses are exactly. That doesn't mean that the masses are respecting it as an art form. It's not like people.
So what does it take to respect it then?
So, okay, no.
You know what? No. Hold on. What he's saying is like, okay, so you go all of these places, right? It's like Kmart and Walmart. You can have like a designer that designs clothes, but is that designer respected because he sells it in Kmart and Walmart, or do you respect Versace and all of these other people? You see what I'm saying? Because Versace doesn't sell a whole bunch of pieces of like one thing. They don't make a whole bunch of one thing, but a designer that designs for Walmart will sell across the fucking world because it's cheap. So and it's not respected. It's not respected like hip hop. I'm not saying it's cheap, but I'm just saying it's not respected like hip hop. But what I'm saying is
the mainstream artists are cheap forms of hip hop.
But at the end of the day, man, it still takes support. I think they kind of still go hand in hand, because Versace doesn't sell that many because it's so goddamn expensive. So just imagine if they go
because it's respected though. Is Versace not more respected than Isaac Mizrahi?
So people will say Lil Wayne is a poet, and people will say Soulja Boy is a poet because he does hip hop.
Well, that's just the entity of
he does hip hop.
We have
hip
all
hop
these other people. I'm saying they're just a portion of what we do. Yeah, they're on the mainstream, but they're still just a portion of
that's the whole
art form as
but
it as an art form.
If people can't look at them and say this person is a poet, then why is that? Because people will look at fucking Steven Tyler and say he's a poet. Why is that? Why is Steven Tyler and Roger Waters? Why are those dudes poets, but Common is not?
But I think they do look at Common as a poet. I think the majority of the people looking as a poet. I think it's just the people that know hip hop and listen to hip hop, or just people that just listen to it. Period. I think it was just a select few people that were trying to give him flack about that.
I don't know, man.
I think that it's not that deep. I think that it is still, like I said before, I think that subliminally it is a race thing. Because, like, I listen to rock music too. I listen to metal, punk rock, all of that shit. And, a lot of that shit had black forefathers and shit, but was quickly dominated by white people. And none against white people, I love y'all. but hip hop is still in the mainstream predominantly black, and racism isn't gone. There's still subliminal racism. I mean, just the fact that, like I said, it's not hip hop is not respected as an art form is clear proof of that. I mean, look at fucking Obama. That dude can't do shit without everybody being up his ass. The motherfucker can't sneeze. He breathes wrong. Motherfucker's up his ass. You know what I mean? And he's a clean motherfucker. And it don't get no deeper than that. I think it is a race thing. That's just.
He's a nigger.
I mean,
I don't think it is. I got a point to that.
Hold on.
I watched your one video on what was it? Black rappers versus white rappers and shit. And like Mike Town was saying that video, the face of the underground hip hop is usually, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the dominant underground MCs are white, so white people are infiltrating and, influenced by hip hop, which is all well and good, but it's still predominantly a black art form, and I think that has a lot to do with it subliminally. People just don't want to admit it.
So if we're saying that it's clearly just a race thing, then how come genres like soul and R&B aren't disrespecting the same way hip hop is? How come people don't look at someone like James Brown and say, oh, I don't want to hear shit from this guy because he's black? How come James Brown isn't treated the same way Tupac is? So I don't think it's clearly just a race thing. It's gotta be something deeper. I think it's just because the music is too abrasive. Not just, but that's gotta be one of the reasons.
Yeah, well, that goes back to what I was saying before, you know, black plus aggressive.
Right.
Not to me, rap is an art form, finally. I mean, that goes without saying, but everybody else, y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate. Most of all, subscribe to Dead End Hip Hop and me, MisanthropikOne. Peace, bitches.